The Crimson Tide roll into Tuscaloosa this Saturday to face off against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. What do you expect from the Tide? We've got all the answers. This is Way Off Sides. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to game week. The Alabama Crimson Tide play football on Saturday in Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saban Field in Tuscaloosa at 6 p.m. Central Time against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And college football has already blessed us with an amazing game leading into an outstanding slate for week one. And we get to finally watch the 2024 edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide take the field under new head coach Kalen DeBoer this week. I apologize for my lighting. The camera just decides to do whatever, whenever. But you guys aren't here to look at me. You're here to listen to me, I guess. Guys, I'm so hyped. There's so much news and information coming out this morning after practice regarding this matchup between Alabama and Western Kentucky, and I am stoked. I cannot wait to share it all with you. We're going to talk about what to expect from Jalen Milroe, how Alabama is going to approach this game, both offensively and defensively. And then there's just some insights from guys like Charlie Potter, Nick Kelly, who have been talking to these coordinators, where they're going to be on the field. I'm really excited. So let's jump right in. First order of business is, in case you didn't know, Western Kentucky has announced this morning that it will start quarterback TJ Finley. That name may sound familiar to you, and it does for a reason. Hey, Cotton, why does that name sound familiar? I can't put my finger on it. Well, it sounds familiar because TJ Finley was once a quarterback at LSU. Alabama beat him there. And he was once a quarterback at Auburn. Alabama beat him there, even though I believe that was the 2021 game where we almost did not beat TJ Finley at Auburn. But he also transferred to Texas State before going to Western Kentucky and the Hilltoppers. What's a Hilltopper anyway? Somebody tell me in the comments section. What is a Hilltopper? I'm sure there's a story there. I just don't know it. So share it with me. But TJ Finley will be the starting quarterback for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers when they take on Alabama this Saturday at 6 p.m. in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now, for Alabama, what do you expect in week one? I'm going to tell you this, probably not much. You know, I was really hype about what they were going to do with Jalen Milroe in this game, but somebody on a short of ours made the comment, a lot of ground yardage, and I think they're right. Coach Sheridan came out this morning after practice and was talking to the offensive line and how just he's really proud of the group, how they've matured, how there's this cohesion there, and I think that's going to be on full display. They're going to bully Western Kentucky's defensive line, and Jam Miller, Justice Haynes are going to have a fantastic outing. Milroe is probably going to do a lot with his feet as well. Now, that's not to say these wide receivers aren't going to get any play, right? We got to work on Milroe. We got to get him in a groove. You know, we got big things coming up with Wisconsin and then Georgia in a few weeks. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just excited just to say that. Instead of going, hey, we got Georgia in a couple of months. We got Georgia in just a couple of weeks. College football's back. I'm just stoked. So Milroe, yeah, they're going to work with Milroe. Milroe's going to have some packages there. We're likely, of course, everybody's excited to see Ryan Williams. But I'm really excited to see Emmanuel Henderson, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice. I think I'm most excited to see Caleb Odom. If there's a red zone situation, I'm really excited to see how Alabama uses Caleb Odom there in the red zone. Now, defensively, the biggest question mark for Alabama going into this season is the secondary. What's it going to look like? How are they going to perform? This is a brand new defensive scheme, this 4-2-5. But I challenge you all to remember that this is something Nick Saban wanted to adjust into anyway before retiring from Alabama. So I don't know that it's going to be that outside of the box. It's also a little less complicated than what Nick Saban implemented, which should allow these guys to play a lot faster. Now, with the communication on the field, right, we all know they're going to have the mic in communication this year. Now, defensively, what does that communication look like? I'll tell you this. Kane Womack this morning, according to Charlie Potter, on Malachi Moore, he's one of the hardest workers that we've ever seen in practice, but he's also one of the best and most gifted communicators. He mentioned him specifically as well as Deontay Lawson. And then I believe he went on to mention somebody else. I don't know. I'm referencing tweets right now. But so obviously those are going to be the two guys who are communicating the defense to the unit on the field. We knew that. That's not a surprise. We knew that those were going to be the guys. But everything coming out, just talking to Kane Womack and Nick Sheridan this morning in their pressers, typically you have that coach speak, right, where coaches are talking about how, so-and-so's done good in fall, blah, 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 it's done good in fall. There's just a different feeling here with the things that are being said. Coach Womack has been big on talking to specific players. He mentioned Damani Jackson and Deshaun Jones by name, saying, and then in terms of like who's trending in the right direction. And then when asked about these freshmen at the DB position, he said, you're going to see a lot of them play. That gets me fired up, man. That gets me really fired up, because what they're doing is they're getting these guys live action reps so that in a couple of weeks when they go to Wisconsin, and then when Georgia comes to town, because you better believe there's going to be recruits in that stadium when Georgia comes to town. We already know Ty Jackson's going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if guys like Justice Terry or a lot of 2026, 2027 guys show up. They're getting those guys that live action gameplay so that they can figure out who's the best fit and who's going to help them be successful in that secondary moving forward. I will also say something to note, and this is important because the narrative all offseason has been that Alabama can't continue that dynasty or that dominance that they once had without Nick Saban. Tyler Booker went on the Next Round today. Shout out Next Round, great show. I did see that you guys call your late night show After Dark. That's our thing. Cut it out. I'm just kidding. Anyway, he did go on Next Round. He was talking to that standard that Nick Saban implemented at Alabama. And he said, look, that is carried on through us. That's carried on through guys who played under Coach Saban, like myself, Malachi Moore named. And we talked to that a lot before we made the jump over to YouTube when we just had our podcast on Spotify, that, Nick Saban was building something that could survive his exit, something that would instill and foundationally change the program. And I think he succeeded in that. And so Ty Booker's like, that Alabama standard that you guys are used to, that's what's still going to be on the field this Saturday. That's promising. That is very promising to hear, because I think that is probably the biggest X factor in terms of what Alabama is going to put forth this Saturday. And I get it. It's just the Hilltoppers. It's Western Kentucky. But look, TJ Finley is a big quarterback. You guys remember a couple of years ago where I think it was Terry and Arnold tried to tackle KJ Jefferson at Oklahoma and just bounced right off of him. TJ Finley is that kind of quarterback. I don't know if he's as talented of a thrower as KJ Jefferson, but this is an air raid offense, very similar to something that you would see from Mike Leach. So it's going to be a good test for that secondary and that pass rush, which I think is going to surprise some people going into this game. On the other side, the offense should, if this offensive line is what we expect, the offense should have their way in terms of doing whatever it is that they want to do, whether it be run the ball, play action, maybe even a little RPO. We'll see what happens. But don't worry, because we'll be live tweeting the entire game. We'll be live tweeting starting Thursday night all the way through Monday, because there's football all 5 days, boys and girls. Oh, I'm so excited. We'll be starting with the Colorado game on Thursday, and then we'll end with, I can't remember what game is on Monday. I know LSU Clemson's on Sunday, but we'll finish out on Monday. So be looking for a lot of pop-ups, live reactions. The only way you're not going to miss it is if you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So I challenge you all to do that. Also, I'll link it in the description below. Our store is open. We do have limited edition seasonal merchandise for you guys. Let me see if I've got a graphic here so you can take a peek. I do. This is some of our seasonal merch. Little spooky vibes for you. As you're doing your thing through the week during the spooky season, waiting for the tide to roll. You got something sexy to wear there. But yeah, so in terms of what to expect this weekend, we're going to be breaking this down a little bit more and more each day throughout the week. This is just a general overview. But I think to that commenter, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but to that commenter, yes, you can expect a dominant run performance from Alabama in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. They're going to chew up that field, and I'm excited about it. And then you can expect these DBs to really get the experience they need, whoever it is. It'll be very interesting to see who the 4 starting guys are on that field. But golly, guys, well, 5 really. But college football's back. I'm trying not to cry. It's back. And it's back in a great way. FSU lost. Got a couple teams on upset alert this weekend. We'll talk about that on our live show Thursday night starting at 8 p.m. Central Time. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be making our picks. You need to jump in and make picks too. If you haven't yet, we do have the ESPN Pick'em group. Make sure you're joining that, making your picks every week. The top 2 winners, one must be a well, it was going to be a way offsides member, but we're still fighting with YouTube over that. But we have 2 prizes that'll go out. One's going to be $100 gift card to Fanatics. The other one will be a swag bag from us with a lot of our store merchandise. So you get that stuff for free if you win. So I did win last year. So I challenge you all to beat me. I believe there's somebody out there who probably can. Jay, K-Spray, Richard, Ricky, Zach, one of y'all can get me. But anyway, that's going to do it. So just super excited. I want to share my excitement with you guys, put out a video, but be looking for more information as the week progresses, as more information comes out from media, and get ready to roll, guys. It's on. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Sub right now before you do anything else. Sub. I'll give you like 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you do it? Good. Roll Tide.